How can we sort a number and determine if it's rational or irrational? Well, it's kind of like determining if a number is even or odds. You know, if we had 1,028, we know it's even because it ends with that even number, that 8 on the end of it. And 103 is the odd, 57 is odd, and 2 is evens. If we looked at how to determine if a number is rational or irrational, really all we want to do is take these different number types and put them into those two basic categories, very much like evens and odds. So how can we do this quickly? If you're only in 8th grade, this is a shortcut that will work for you. There's two questions that we ask ourselves. Is it pi, or is pi, showing itself, or is it an imperfect square root? And if you can answer those two questions, piece of cake. So is it pi? Let's take a look at this fraction, -1/3. Is it pi? No, it's absolutely not. If we said yes, we would slide that number right over to the irrational number, okay? Well, let's go down to the second question though, since we said it's not pi. Is this fraction, -1/3, an imperfect square root? Well, no, you can see right here that there is no square root sign here. So it's a no to both of these questions. And if it's no to both of them, we just slide it over here to the rational category. So there it is, -1/3 is rational. And then we just go through and we ask ourselves this over and over again. Do we see pi in 1 2/9? No. Is it an imperfect square root? No, there's no square root sign. So slide it right on over to the rational side. That's it. That's all we have to do. So what about this one? Do we see pi right here for the square root of 5? No. Is it an imperfect square root? How can we do that? Well, if you take your calculator and just test the square root, if you get decimals, you know it's an imperfect square root. That means it's stuck between two whole numbers on a number line. So we'd slide that right over to the irrational side. How about 4 1/10? Sorry, it's not pi. Is it an imperfect square root? No, there's no square root sign. Slide it over to rational. A repeating decimal. Don't start to do new things. I don't see pi. It's not got a square root sign on it. Make it rational. Hey, how about this one right here? This is the square root of 9. Well, if you're not for sure, check it on a calculator. You'd find out that it gets a whole number for the answer. That makes it a perfect square root. So no, it's not an imperfect square root. So put it over to the rational side. Square root of 13 is not pi, but let's see if it's an imperfect square root. Oh, it's got those decimals on it. Okay. So that's going to put us over there on the irrational side. And then the very last one, what about this expression pi minus 3? Well, it does have pi in it, so we're going to just slide it on over to the irrational side. So this is designed to be a quick shortcut. This is not designed to tell you why it works. It's just a way to sort them into rational or irrational. We'll take a look at why in the next video.